You said structure is very important to you. So do you outline your screenplay?
I do. So I do outline. What I do is like, again, before I even write anything or do any outlines, I always have, I know how the story is going to end, start, I know how it's going to end. If I don't know the ending of a screenplay, I don't touch it at all. The story, I don't even start writing. So once I know how the project is going to start and how it's going to end, and then I start to do my outline. And once I start to do my outline, after I finish my outline is when I actually start to put the screenplay together. So I know like the first draft, we already know writing is rewriting. So I know once I get that first draft done, that's just, my first draft is really also my outline, and then I start to tweak and change scenes and change dialogue. And so I'm gonna do a couple of drafts of that, maybe not way more than a couple of drafts. So maybe like, then once I get it to where I say, okay, I can stand to read this, I send it out to different people to read it, to give me feedback. Once they give me feedback, I go through and I clean it up again. And once I get like a nice polished script where I can send to producers, and that's what I would do. Then I would send it to producers. But knowing that this is still a script that more than likely I'm going to have to do some rewriting to. Even up until when we on set, there are certain times when, or do a table read. So I think what wasn't very important is even before we start to shoot, is to do a table read so you can listen to the dialogue, and you don't necessarily have to do a table read with the actors that you're going to use, or the actors you're going to hire. You can use local actors, bring them in. And even before you get the budget, even before you even send it out to producers, bring some local actors in and just let them, do a table read so you can listen to the dialogue. And by listening to the dialogue, then once you finish with the dialogue, ask the actors, what do you all think? Give me some feedback, and they would give you so the actors, they would give you some good feedback. And while they're giving you feedback, just always be taking notes. And then, some stuff you'll be able to use and some stuff you're not going to be able to use. This is something that I do, is that now what I do is, even before I send anything out to the producers, I'm going to do a table read with local actors, which they're going to know, look, I'm not hiring anybody. This is what I need for you all to do for me so I can listen to the dialogue. And they're happy to do that, yeah.
Yeah, I know in a lot of comments underneath some of your trailers say the great dialogue that you have. Okay. So do you read any of those comments? Like, do you go to some of your trailers and look at the?
I do. Yeah.
The comments.
I have to.
You have to. Okay.
Yeah. I think for me, I do. I go to Amazon. I go to YouTube. And I just read what people are saying, and what I do is I go and I click on. Say for instance, if it's on Amazon, you have like the 1, 2, 3, 4. I go to the worst and I read all of I don't even want to call it the negative comments, but the comments that are not I guess it's the ones, which is the so-called negative comments, right? So I read those, and I go to the 2, I go to the 3, I go to the 4, then I go to the more quote positive comments, that's in favor of the film. But I always want to know what people are thinking, what people are saying, and how, because with that, because these are people you don't know. Your mom, your sister, your friends, your family, and your friends, when they hate to hurt us, so when they're looking at our project, oh, this is great, but the people who are actually not associated with us at all, they're going to give it to you in a raw. So I go and and some of the stuff is like, oh, woof, this hurts, but it's needed. It's definitely needed. I think that we all should go and read those comments because, to see what we can work on. Yeah, so I read those comments, yeah.
When you do the table read, is this more like a working atmosphere, or do you make it more like a fun atmosphere where there's food and you're sitting around a table and people feel comfortable, or is it more this is business kind of?
So it's food. Oh yeah. So when we do a table read, I always have I have water, I have juice, I have order some pizza or whatever, some chips, and we're sitting around and because in Chicago, where I normally do my table reads at, like the people that I bring in, these are friends too. Like these are people who I've been knowing for 10, 15 years in the business, who are just, who just want to, we all want to just, help each other out. So we come in, we just sit back and they read the dialogue, and they're I need you all to be brutal. I need you all to be honest with me. And they tell me, like, they let me know how, what the, or where we missing things at, or, so that's how we able to evolve. But we make it a fun, and I think by making it a fun environment, that it opens the actors up to be a little bit more honest. So if it's all about people being rigid or business, people could be a little bit more dishonest, because they may be afraid that they don't want to hurt our feelings, or that this may be an opportunity for them to act in it. And if they give negative feedback, that you may not hire them, you may take it personal. So no, you can't take anything personal. So for me, I like it to be a fun environment, so people can be, in my opinion, can be more honest when giving feedback.
Sure. Yeah. Like, suppose I'm reading a line that says, like, Joe, you didn't call me last night, and it just doesn't sound right. Is the actor going to say, can I just stop here for a second? Can I say, what's up with not calling me? Or, so where were you? Instead, I mean, like, how are they giving you feedback? Are they doing it while they're reading, or?
No, afterwards.
Oh, afterwards.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the rule is to just read through one time?
Mm-hmm. And what we do is we read through one time, and while we're reading through, they're taking notes. And while they're taking notes, what we do is after they finish reading the screenplay, then we go through and and they give notes. Oh, now there may be a situation where, like, we're reading through and somebody may stop and say that, stop and say that, but I don't stop them. I would like, and we may, but I don't, because I want to stay focused on finishing the screenplay. I let them say, but we don't stay on it for very long. So It's okay, we don't get back to that. So we make a notation and we come back to that. But we definitely want to stay focused and get done with the screenplay. And once we get done with the screenplay, and then, everybody's just like going in, digging in.
So when you do the note session with the actors, do you do it in order of the script? Like, you start with the first page and?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So what I do is I say, okay, I allow them to, like, I say, like, go around the table. We go around the table and say, give me your feedback, and it's like, I don't too much, like, the positive feedback, I don't pay too much attention to the positive feedback. It's there, I have it there, but I want to hear the negative feedback, or the feedback that I'm going to use in order to make the story better. The positive stuff, the stuff that's good in the screenplay is there, cool. But the stuff that we need to change or tweak, those are the type of things that I like to hear or want to hear. So once we go around the table and everybody give their take on what they thought about the screenplay, how we can make it better, then we go, okay, we go through the script and say, then I start asking questions. So what do you think about this? And what do you think about that? Do you like this, or don't you? So I start to ask questions so I can get deep into the screenplay. And, and then once you start asking questions to the actors, it's like, I really need y'all to tell me, give me your honest opinion about this, and they open up and they give it to you.
And they say, I don't feel like my character would do that.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
you hear that a lot. I don't think you hear that. I don't think my character would do that. And I was like, oh, why don't you think that this character would do that? And here's why. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Then you go and you make that adjustment.